We often talk about being high functioning, but what if high functioning actually depends on true well-being, lived holistically and humanly? Hello and welcome to Life Beyond the Numbers, the podcast for leaders and people curious about creating a more fulfilling work life. I'm your host, Susan Ní Chríodáin, and I help people in leadership make sense of themselves and their work life, especially in times of uncertainty, transition, and difficulty. I'm also the author of the award-winning book, Leading Beyond the Numbers. And I love real conversations, the ones that invite you to truly listen, that create space for reflection, to be heard and to feel understood. Together with leaders and fellow explorers, we shine a light on what shapes our work lives, both from the outside and the inside. Join us for stories, insights and perspectives that keep humanity at the heart of work. Well, today I am delighted to welcome Blanka Campbell to Life Beyond the Numbers. Blanka, you're so welcome.
I am so excited to be here and see what this conversation brings.
Yay! And we've just been talking before we came on, and we discovered a Prague connection, which is really cool because actually you were referred to me, or introduced to me, I should say, by the wonderful Sam Allen. And the episode I recorded with Sam, which is number 120, was called Reconnecting. So there's always connections going on, and from now on we'll be reconnecting.
Exactly. And we already discovered that we have so much in common that we will be connected forever.
I know, it's amazing, isn't it? It's amazing. So, Blanka, I think something that I maybe never heard until a couple of years ago, but now seems to be commonly talked about, is we need to listen to our bodies. And that's what we're going to jump off with today here. So what does it mean to listen to our bodies?
So listening to our body would be a wonderful concept if we were healthy. Because what happens, like all my clients, so I'm a functional medicine practitioner and nutritionist, and they come to me with a little problem and they say, but my body tells me to, for example, eat something sweet. And then we are trying to uncover, like, why would the body tell you to eat something sweet if we all know that sugar does not really serve us? And there might be this hidden mechanism. We have, for example, some pathogens, some bacteria, some viruses, and they want to grow in our body and they love sugar. So they basically occupy the centers in our brain, sending the signal like a menu, saying to you what you should eat so that they can regrow and make you feel even sicker. So in that case, we don't want to really listen to our body, right? Or now somebody's saying, but I'm never craving sugar. I'm craving something salty. So what do you think that craving something salty can mean?
Well, the same thing, and just in a different body part, probably.
Yeah, exactly. It's the different body part, because very often when we are stressed, as we are in this environment that we are in, and when we come to the stage 3 of fatigue, this is adrenal fatigue, some people know it as a burnout, exhaustion, then our body doesn't have enough cortisol, the stress hormone, or aldosterone, which is the hormone responsible for, bringing up the blood pressure and the volume. And so if we don't have the salt, the body makes you to eat more salt so that the blood pressure goes up, so that you don't feel dizzy and you don't faint. So our body is always trying to protect us in situations like this. But then we need to go to the root cause, remove the stress, and not just eat crisps, huh?
It's so interesting, isn't it? What you say about listening to the body if the body is healthy.
Mm-hmm.
So what if we think the body is healthy? Because many of us probably do.
Mm.
We normalize situations. So, oh,
Mhm.
I'll have something sweet every now and then, or
Yeah.
every day, it's no harm. I like an extra bit of salt. Are we normalizing these signals and still
Yeah.
unhealthy? Or how do we know, Blanca?
And this is a great question as well. And that's why I usually work with coaches, because coaches, life coaches, they can help people to see the habits, because it is very easy to create the habits. And I can tell you that when I was studying many years ago, I actually studied languages and literature in the Czech Republic. That's my like original education. And I was rewarding myself with something sweet after every meal. And it became a habit. It's not that I needed it, but I liked it, yeah, because very often we like some certainty and we have some rituals that we do for no reason. Even with coffee. I don't know if you do you drink coffee?
Yes, I love it.
Yeah, I love coffee as well, but I'm not asking myself in the morning whether or not I need the coffee. I do it automatically, yeah? And so very often we have this habit of having a cup of tea, coffee, something sweet without thinking. And then we become the victims of the habit. And when the food has power over you, it's not really beneficial. So I always say to people, look, if you have coffee, tea, or something sweet every third day or fourth day, or maybe on Saturday, you are not a victim. And it's perfectly fine to have nice cake when there is a celebration. There's this 80-20 rule. But if you are a victim and you would do anything it takes to go and buy something sweet, you became a victim and you need to start working with a coach, right? On your habits. Yeah, so then it's just a habit that makes you to do it. Your body doesn't need it. You got used to that.
Yeah, and it's like what you said is the body is protecting you in some way. So the habit was born out of some sort of
Mhm.
protection along the way. So the habit started out as a good intention,
Yeah, yeah,
like a reward
yeah.
or yeah. But then the habit sneaks in and it's relying on you just to keep going
Mhm,
without
mhm,
questioning its function.
mhm. And also we like to be in a comfort zone. And it's our comfort to have like whatever sweet drink. Like nobody likes to take the leap and do something difficult. And we know that the change happens only when you get out of the comfort zone, out of your bubble. And that the only two reasons when we will change something is when we are in uncomfortable states, then we want to go back, or when we predict that it's going to be good for us, then we do it. But if I don't see a benefit in like stopping to drink coffee, if there is no benefit, why would I do it? Huh? And I tried many times. Have you tried
Yes,
without coffee? Me
yes,
too. And I never saw any benefit. So I'm there, I
yeah.
enjoy.
Well, yeah, last year I gave myself an experiment to
Mhm.
not drink coffee for 3 months.
Wow.
Yeah,
Long
and I
time.
did. And I enjoy my coffee, but I
Mhm.
managed absolutely fine without it. And what it did do, I suppose, is break that. Now, if I miss my 11 o'clock coffee or something, it doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
Whereas before, I that was like a ritual.
Yeah, yeah. And I would actually like to know, how did you feel the first 3 days? What was your brain telling you? Because it's a big change.
It is a big change. At the time, it's funny. I'd almost like to do it again because I got shingles. So I was already getting sick and I didn't know it when I gave it up. And so I was very cranky and I was going, I can't believe this is coffee related. It wasn't. It was actually the shingles coming
Yeah.
on. So my brain was questioning that, but I've always felt that I can do without the coffee. I enjoy it. Whereas
Mhm,
I know people that can't do without it or that it drives them crazy.
mhm.
That's the other thing is we all process things differently, I
Yeah,
guess, in our
yeah,
bodies and our body types.
yeah.
So I suppose, I mean, I've justified it. It's my habit as well, Blanca, but we're talking about listening to our body. And sometimes our body does know when
Mhm.
something's wrong. And I guess what makes someone want to work with you or a functional medicine person? And maybe even what is functional medicine?
Mhm. Good. So many questions. So I would first say, like, also listening to the body, it brings me to the topic of intuition. And very often we listen to our intuition, which is the first signal, tells us what's right and what's wrong. And when you ask why would people work with me, because their intuition tells them to schedule a call, because I always offer the free discovery call, because I also don't want to work just with anybody. And when I see during the like first 15 minutes that we are on the same page and they can achieve what they want to achieve, we usually start working together. Yeah, so intuition brings them. And then also, I'm the only functional medicine practitioner and nutritionist registered in Switzerland on insurance company. So they have it covered by insurance. So that's why they also usually come to me. And because I'm the only functional medicine practitioner. And now just to like explain the difference. So I first studied nutritional therapy, which is amazing. You know, it's chemistry, biochemistry, physiology, pathophysiology. You learn so much about the human body, and then of course about different like dietary protocols. And nutritional therapist usually gets a letter from a doctor saying what the person, like what disease the person has, and then tells you what to do. So if you have, for example, multiple sclerosis, or you go through perimenopause, menopause, and your hormones are out of balance, and you, for example, have family history of breast cancer or ovarian cancer, the protocol is going to be on a detox, making sure that you eliminate the metabolites, the carcinogenic metabolites of estrogen. I know it sounds really this medical language. So that's what the nutritional therapist will do. But then I wanted to study functional medicine because I wanted to go to the root cause of the problem, put the puzzles together and uncover it myself. I didn't want that people come to me with a label. Because you know, doctors love to give you a label. They have 7 minutes for you. Like in the UK, it's 7 minutes, okay? NHS. And in Switzerland, they maybe have 15 minutes, but they send you a really, really large bill for these 15 minutes. And it's very difficult in 15 minutes to say, like what is your disease? So they give you the label. They say, oh, you have, for example, high cholesterol, and we will give you statins, and you have metabolic syndrome, and we give you metformin, and you are leaving with the list of medication. And so the people that come to me, they don't want to take medication, and they want that I have a holistic view. And now what is functional medicine? So the word functional is about the function of the organs. So we, for example, know that the liver filters and detoxifies, yes? Or we know that the stomach has hydrochloric acid and needs to break down the food. So every organ has a function, but they work together. So we are looking at the blood tests to see what is the optimal function of your organs, but then we put it all together. Because in functional medicine, we have this matrix, and at the center of the matrix is mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being. So I also ask people, when was it the last time that you felt well? Because sometimes they connect like, oh, I had a car crash, car accident, and that's where everything started going downhill. But it's not like that. It started way before that. You were stressed and you did not pay attention and you were fatigued and all of that. So we really on the timeline go to the time when they last felt well. And I want to learn more about them. Was there any trauma, divorce, heartbreak? These ones are pretty painful and leave the scars in our heart and basically the imprint in the body, because the body keeps the score of everything that we go through. And then I build it. I build a picture for them. We look at absolutely everything to uncover the root cause. So yeah, functional medicine is about biochemistry, finding from the cutting edge tests what is out of balance, then building the picture together, looking what they eat, and then taking the natural way. So we want more like botanicals or supplements and changing the diet or like any protocols, but based on their lifestyle. You cannot tell people who don't eat meat to start eating meat. No. So it's all about them. Yeah. So that's functional medicine. And that's why I like it on the top of the nutritional therapy that I studied.
Wow.
Lots of me, I know.
It kind of blows my mind. And I think the thing that is bothering me, for want of a better way of phrasing it, it's like doctors, doesn't it make sense that doctors do that? Like, what happened to break down that view of the person? Why isn't it
Yeah.
something that everyone is doing?
Yeah, so it's basically the system. When they study medicine, they, for example, have only 20 hours about nutrition. And those 20 hours about nutrition, if you practice medicine for 20 years, you forget everything. So they don't even know that, for example, like tingling in the hands and feet can be B12 deficiency. They don't know anything about like methylation. They just don't know, they don't have the knowledge. They work with what you have. Yeah. So they are using the resources that they have been given. And also, like honestly, with the little time they have, they try to do the best. And what they do in those 7 minutes or 15 minutes is to put the plaster on the problem that you mentioned to them. So if you, for example, have skin issues, you have rash on your skin, they will say, okay, let's put there corticosteroids, because corticosteroids, cortisol suppresses the immune system and therefore it's going to disappear. And then you are either lucky, it never comes back, or you are not, and then they will use another medication. Yeah? So they have like step 1, 2, and 3. And functional medicine practitioners are actually very often medical doctors that decided they don't want to practice this medicine of putting the plaster on one problem, but they want to have a holistic view. But that is not covered, for example, by insurance companies. So you have people that cannot afford to pay for functional medicine because we spend hours and hours before we speak to the patient or client. And this also needs to be paid to us. Yeah. So those ones that cannot afford it, they have to go to the doctor, but maybe they can still invest into 1 or 2 sessions with the functional medicine practitioner that will at least teach them how to speak to the doctor. And this is what I do. I have like group calls, like I have also group courses, which is for people that cannot afford my private one-to-one or VIP packages. But every Wednesday lunchtime, they can ask me questions and I tell them how to speak to the doctor, what to ask, and how to have some common knowledge. Because this was my problem many years ago. I had zero knowledge. As I told you, I studied languages. And with languages, you have no idea what's happening in the body. Yeah.
Well, you have the words maybe to describe it.
Yeah, exactly. You can translate it to all the languages, but you don't even know what that means.
So that's interesting. You said to help people talk to their doctor, because I suppose, look, from my childhood or growing up, and even still today, the doctor is somebody that's very respected and looked up to, and we might not necessarily question their lack of understanding or lack of, I don't want to, because I know that they're doing their best, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of fascinating that we're so reliant on a health system that perhaps is built on not the best foundation.
Yeah.
And where has the growth of functional medicine come from, Blanka? Like, is it revolutionizing? Is it slowly, slowly?
It's actually slowly, because it started 80 years ago in the US. And, more and more doctors wanted to have a holistic view. And functional medicine is actually science-based, data-driven. And that's the most important, because we all love, for example, Ayurveda. I'm also a yoga teacher, so obviously Ayurveda we know, or traditional Chinese medicine. Yeah, because for centuries it has been practiced and it is amazing. But you don't have clinical research for that. And unfortunately, many doctors to acknowledge functional medicine, they wanted the data. And so 80 years ago, this Institute for Functional Medicine started collecting the data, doing the research, and that's their number one priority, that it's really evidence-based, and you will have like clinical studies for everything. But then they also wanted it to be patient-centered. They wanted to listen to the unique story of everybody. And then the third is applying their clinical knowledge of the functional medicine. So this trio, when you connect it together, I listen to you, I know everything about you, I use my functional medicine knowledge, but I also check the literature. That's the best combination, right? It's like a science and spirituality together. And actually, functional medicine is using some knowledge and herbs from traditional Chinese medicine, also Ayurveda. Whenever there are clinical studies for it, like about curcumin, which is so well known, yeah, and ashwagandha for stress. So we will also do it, but then we will have protocols like about the dosage and much more. So started 80 years ago, and now it's growing big. And I predict that in 10 years' time, it's going to be even paid and covered by insurance companies because they will realize this is what people want. And you will have the choice to either go to the functional medicine practitioner or any holistic practitioner or conventional medical practitioner.
Or that certain things go one way and certain things go another way. Because if I break my arm, I
Mm-hmm.
need to go to the doctor.
Yeah,
There are
exactly,
certain
exactly.
things that really lend themselves to that medical stream. And then perhaps, yeah, if I've got symptoms I'm not really sure what they're indicating, then you're
Mhm.
going to listen to me or a functional medicine person and
Yeah.
put the pieces of the puzzle together.
And what I believe is also important to educate people. Because if we educate people, then they're not going to be sick. If they're not sick, the medical system is not going to be overloaded and they will be really able to only focus on the acute emergency. That is absolutely great because, as you say, if I break my leg or whatever, I have a car accident, of course I want to go to the hospital and I, of course, want them to do the surgery, the best surgeons, and there will be best surgeons. But general practitioners, if they see 48 people per day, I see 3 people. They see 48, even 70 people per day. They cannot even remember your name or whatever you tell them about you. They really focus on one thing. So we cannot blame them. And I work in Basel, in MedBase. I have doctors that we collaborate because I tell them which test I want for my clients and they run it on the insurance company. Then I explain and justify all the mechanism. So it's a wonderful collaboration. For them, it's easy because the person comes with a list of what needs to be done and it's fully explained. So the doctor does not have to listen. And my husband
Yeah.
is not, and then I don't have the sleep. GP is not a psychologist, and we should go there and talk about the data and facts and tell what we want. And then in 7 minutes, they can do it. So when my clients come with the letter, I explain this is the history and this is what we need to do. They manage in 7 minutes. They take the paper, they have it for the insurance, everything is done, and they love it. So I love it, they love it, client loves it. It can work really, really well. Yeah. So we need to educate the people because somebody comes to me and they say, but I don't eat any sugar. I tell them, of course you eat sugar. You eat bread, rice, pasta. Before you go to sleep, this is sugar, this is carbohydrates. They imagine that sugar is only the white powder. They don't know that sugar has 80 different names and everything is sugar, carbohydrate, glucose. Yeah. So it's the basic education that we need to spread in the world.
It's so true. And when I lived and worked in Switzerland, I worked for an organization called the Global Alliance for Improved Nutrition. And well, it was nutrition in the developing world more, but it was all about, I suppose, the root causes of malnutrition. And malnutrition is undernourished as well as overnourished.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
obesity and starvation, but so much about the micronutrients
Mm-hmm.
like vitamin A and
Yeah,
iron and folate and all of these things that, like you say, if we're not aware of them, like the impact of low vitamin D,
yeah.
which is something that
Immune
we've become
system. Yeah,
more aware of. But for a long time, people probably went around in a really bad mood because they
yeah,
weren't getting enough vitamin
yeah,
D.
yeah.
So, as a starter, how can people become more aware of their nutritional needs? Because often it does feel very unapproachable or inaccessible or too sciencey.
Yeah, yeah. So you are absolutely right. Actually, before I studied nutrition and functional medicine, I used to suffer from seasonal depression. It's like January and February, I had this like low mood. I felt like to cry for no reason. And I did not understand that it was vitamin D deficiency. Yeah, because there was like no sunshine. But on the other hand, I say now sunshine as well. And people think that if they go and they sunbathe and they have dark skin like I have, that they will have enough of vitamin D. But they don't understand that the UVA and UVB, if they put the blockers, it like blocks it. And then there is a step in the liver that needs to activate it to D2. And then there is a step in the kidneys activating it to D3. And if you don't have all this, you will never have enough vitamin D, the active one. So the best thing is to supplement. So first I would say like to test. Every doctor can test vitamin D levels once a year. And the prescription in the UK, it's for free. Everybody can get it for free. And the same is like in France or Switzerland. Every doctor will give you prescription for large doses of vitamin D3. You take it 3 times during the winter and you will avoid the seasonal depression, but also vitamin D is an immune regulator. So if somebody has autoimmune disease like Hashimoto and lupus and celiac disease and Crohn's disease, the immune system is working and fighting so much that it depletes the vitamin D. So these people should supplement every single day. I don't want to say the dosage because then somebody can overdose, you know?
Yeah.
But they should speak to either a doctor or functional medicine practitioner and see what is the dose for me. Yeah, so vitamin D, or like as you said, vitamin A for the like immune system as well, or B vitamins, or zinc, like immune system as well. So what I usually suggest to everybody, if you don't know where you have the deficiency, just take every single day multivitamin. Yeah, there is like I could recommend brands, but I don't know, like, am I allowed to say some brands?
This is my podcast. You can do what you like, Blanka.
Okay, I don't have affiliations, but for people that are in the UK, BioCare, it's one of the best companies because they have really good products. And
is that Swiss BioCare?
No, it's a UK, it's a British company.
Yeah.
And during my studies of the nutritional therapy in London at the College of Nutrition and Health, we were using, or the lecturers were talking about BioCare. And even today, I took female multinutrient, which is a multivitamin for females from BioCare, and I ordered it from the UK and ship it to Switzerland because I believe it's one of the best products. And this product has everything. It has all the vitamins, all the minerals. And if you take like one a day, you know that you will cover the necessary that you need. And then, of course, we want all the vitamins and minerals from the food. However, the soil is depleted. And how do you know that there is enough beta carotene in your carrot? So I prefer to take it from both sources to make sure I'm healthy. Yeah, and it's also for children. I give to my kids some supplements as well, like fish oil, omega-3, because they don't eat fish. And I just want to make sure that they have all the necessary nutrients.
Yeah, and it's a puzzle. I mean, there's so many, I guess, but maybe the multivitamin is such a good idea because you capture everything or the majority of things you need.
Yes.
But of course, some of us need different levels too, and some of us will be deficient and our body will be out of balance because it's so complicated.
This is a good point as well, but I want to say that, for example, in nature, Mother Nature gives us combination of everything together. And very often I see people that are, for example, supplementing methylated B12 on its own. But you will never find B12 on its own in food. When you eat eggs, it's going to have all B vitamins. So if you want to supplement B vitamins, it needs to be B complex, all the B vitamins together. Yeah. And if you, for example, have like any vegetable, it's not going to be only zinc or only magnesium in it. It will have all the minerals in it because it's like a symphony. So it works all together. So I very rarely would say to somebody to supplement, for example, just large doses of zinc without anything else. Yeah. So when you talk to a professional and they see that you have some genetic polymorphism and you cannot, for example, convert folic acid into hydrotetrafolate, then of course you will supplement it. But otherwise, don't experiment on your own with anything else than multivitamin, fish oil, and that's it. Multivitamin fish oil is the basic for everyone.
Cool. And you're reminding me, it's funny talking about all of this, it's reminding me of what we used to talk about in that organization was dietary diversity and having colors on your plate.
Yeah.
So that if you're just eating one color, like beige kind of colors, you're not going to get your nutrients. But if your plate is colorful or your
Yeah.
daily food is colorful, then you're more likely to be getting more of what you need. And
Yeah.
I don't
And
mean
you're
colors added by,
not the dye.
yeah, not the dye.
So you are right, because even in functional medicine, we say eat the rainbow, and you need to eat minimum 10 portions of vegetable, from which two can be like fruit. Yeah, so 8 vegetable and 2 pieces of fruit per day. And the portion, you don't need to use any scale and this. You just use your hand. And so one handful of cherry tomatoes, right? How many would that be for somebody? 8, so somebody 10, somebody 12. Depends who you are. But that's one portion. And very often when I review for my clients what they eat, I'm like, you have per day maybe 2 or 3 portions of vegetable. This is not enough. And you definitely don't eat the rainbow. So if we know that, for example, purple, like blueberries or red cabbage or beetroot, which is kind of reddish purple, they are really helping against the cancer, right? It's the color that helps. And then the green has kind lot of magnesium and folic acid. It's just eating the rainbow is the best. Do you eat the rainbow?
I don't think I eat it every single day. I definitely eat the rainbow.
Mhm.
But yeah, whether I am diligent enough or dedicated enough to eat it every single day, there's definitely
Mhm.
more green than anything else in
Mhm.
my diet.
Mhm. Yeah, green, perfect. But we need the color because, for example, beta carotene from carrots and pumpkin and
Yeah,
I
and
know
I eat all of
peaches.
that. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Just like
And
it is.
as you're talking about tomatoes, we've got two little tomato trees growing in our back garden, and I've been picking them, and I can fit about 25 of them in my hand,
Wow,
and they're so
wow.
small. They're very, very small. But yeah, and I think that's experimenting as well because you can grow things at
Mhm,
home
mhm,
even if your
mhm,
space is small.
mhm. And even this, like what you say about going to the garden, connecting with the nature, that is just so amazing. And it's part of the functional medicine as well, because many people don't know that nature has the negative charge and we have the positive charge from all the mobile phones and what we are exposed to. And if we actually want to ground ourselves, touching the soil, touching the plants, connecting to it, going and being exposed to the sunshine in the morning, because then it activates the serotonin and dopamine, and then we just flow through the day with ease. So it's not just focusing on supplements and food, but it's holistic, everything together.
You're one of the most enthusiastic and passionate people I've ever had on this podcast, I think, Blanka. It's an absolute wonder. And such an advocate then for healthier living. And when I went to your website, I was really struck by something you said, a quote, which was chaos in the gut leads to misery in the brain. So can you
Yeah.
say a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So, not to go totally technical, because I could speak passionately about my topic for a really long time. But what it means is, so from the moment that we put something into our mouth, there is like a hose, 6 meter long hose, intestine, stomach, and all that, and it's only one cell thick. So it's very, very, very fragile. And what happens is that certain like medication, for example, ibuprofen or stress, the high levels of cortisol can cause leaky gut. So imagine that all the viruses and bacteria and all the pathogens that we, of course, inhale or swallow, normally we should eliminate it all through the stool. But if we have holes in the intestine, it gets into the bloodstream. And everything that shouldn't be in the bloodstream, the immune system, the police of the body, starts fighting it and says, hey, it shouldn't be there. And so the war starts and they are shooting, causing even more damage. And the problem is that everything that gets into the bloodstream, of course, gets also into the brain. And we have this gut brain axis, this connection. So in traditional Chinese medicine, they actually say that the gut is the first brain, right? When we spoke about intuition, hey, all the butterflies in your stomach, that gives you signals whether something is right or wrong, huh? Then your analytical brain tells you, no, it cannot be, do something else. And then you are like, why did I not listen to my gut? And so when this gut gets actually damaged, then it's signaling also wrongly to the brain and you get lost. And so what people don't know is that in the gut, of course, we have microbiota, this good and bad bacteria. I don't want to label anything good and bad. The problem is when it gets out of balance. So normally there is certain bacteria that is creating like 75 to 90% of serotonin. Serotonin is a happy hormone. Huh? But serotonin is not only a happy hormone. It, for example, helps with the movement of our intestine. So maybe people will be saying, oh, that's right. When I get excited, I need to go to the toilet, evacuate, because that's the serotonin that started moving the intestine. But when there is a bacterial overgrowth and you have leaky gut, this doesn't happen anymore. So people might get constipated, and then all the toxins through the holes are constantly leaking to the blood, causing inflammation and inflammation in the brain. And then it can be like a brain fog or schizophrenia or any neurodegenerative disease like Parkinson's, Alzheimer, multiple sclerosis. And the question is, could we really prevent it if we start taking care of our gut? And people will say when they are sick and they come to me and we do the test, they say, but I didn't know. They didn't know that this is wrong. Yeah. So again, we come back to the education. What can we do to take care of our gut? And what are the signs and symptoms of unhealthy gut? Do you want to know what I overloaded you again, huh?
No, but it's just so fascinating. I think we probably already know on some level because this is knowledge that we've always had, because we wouldn't be here today if we didn't know. It's just that our choice has expanded so much of what to eat that we've moved away from making choices that are healthy for us, but it's not through our own fault. It's that the world has conspired almost.
Yeah. You are absolutely right. So I was born in Czechoslovakia, poor country. We just had our own farm, and whatever we were growing, we were eating. So I never have seen the temptation of supermarkets like we have it today. You enter, and then you have all this ready meals, beautiful marketing, beautiful packaging. It tastes great because they want to find the sweet spot so that we go and buy it over and over again so that we never get saturated by that. And so, yeah, it is very tempting. And it's like reacting on the opioid center. So of course it becomes a drug and we do it again, again, again. And if the choice was, hey, you either have broccoli or you have a piece of meat, you are not going to overeat on broccoli. 3 kilos of broccoli? No, no, thank you. But overeating on Cadbury, like in the UK, people eat lots of Cadbury. It's like pretty easy, to have it every single day. So you are right that it's because we have this choice and the temptation, and if we never had it. But how can we change it? We can change it by not supporting the industry.
Totally. It's about choosing, isn't it? And it's back to what we talked about at the beginning, Blanca, as well, the habits. It's also about understanding. So if I'm at work, for example, and my team isn't performing in the way that I think that they could, we often look at behavior related to personality, but it could be that people aren't sleeping enough, or they're not getting the right nutrition, or their gut brain axis is malnourished, or that's probably not the right term. But I think what we don't always do is relate how nutrition and food fuel our performance. And I'm not sure we're always aware of that, even to the brain.
Yeah. That's true. And also hormones, because hormones are the chemical messengers that basically rule us. And when I went through perimenopause and I was like 2 o'clock in the night, sweating in the bedroom, it was February, I opened the window and I was even ready to like jump to cool myself down. And you think, where is this coming from? Like you have to go to the toilet 5 times a night, even though you don't have any liquid in your bladder, sweating, the mood is changing, you are gaining weight for no reason. And you think like, why me? I'm the person that eats healthy, exercise, but then you are in a vicious circle. Because if you don't sleep well, you are going to make choices of some sugar, or you will have more cravings to go through the day. You will have your coffee and maybe a piece of bread or some pancakes. And how to get out of this vicious circle? So I have personal experience for all of this, and I quickly stopped it before it would get further. But not many women understand it's hormonal and they don't know what to do. And they go, for example, to the gynecologist, and the gynecologist says, you are too young to go through perimenopause. I was 41, very, very young, 41. But I ran the urinary tests for me, all the metabolites and everything. And I saw it, I saw the results. So I immediately asked my doctor, explain to her everything that's happening. Here are my tests, and I want the hormone replacement therapy because we don't have any risk of breast cancer in my family. And I want it. And within 2 days, I felt amazing. Within 1 month, I was back to my normal. And so I'm a big advocate of hormone replacement therapy.
So am I.
If you are healthy. Yeah, you too?
Yeah. It saved me, definitely.
Life-changing, totally
Yes.
life-changing, yeah. And I was 41 when all this started, before I realized what I need to do. So if any woman that is 40 plus or even 35 listens to us and thinks like, I have this belly fat, I cry for no reason, I cannot even remember what I had for lunch, I'm not able to memorize things, I'm not able to work in the team, talk to a professional. Yeah, that's what we want.
Absolutely. And what I want to talk about, Blanka, is how you got here, because I know that this wasn't your original career. So what got you to leap from your first career to this one?
Yeah, so it was probably that I did not want to be a victim of doctors. So at the time when I decided to basically quit my corporate job, to tell everybody I studied languages and literature, and then because of money, of course, I went to corporate, to like a big pharma company here in Basel. I cannot say that I did not like the job. I'm quite passionate for anything that I do. But my daughter, she was 2.5, and she became really sick. And the doctors were giving her like all the medication. And I just didn't know what it all meant. And it made her sick. And when you see your child suffering, you want to understand it. And then I started having my own health issues, because taking care of a sick child, having a full-time job, and I just had this burnout. I had perioral dermatitis on my skin. I couldn't sleep. I was just a mess, okay? And in that moment, I decided that I want to take care of my child and being able to understand the blood test results and medication and help her in the best possible way. And I want to save myself. So I quit the job and I started like studying, but because I did not have the leaving examination from chemistry and biochemistry. So before studying the nutritional therapy, I had to do the A levels. So imagine I was 35 years old and I was doing 1 year of the course that you normally have to do in 3 years of A levels in the UK. And when I passed the A levels, then finally could start studying. And I studied for 10 years, because then functional medicine is the medicine that we study. So it's like really like with doctors, it's the medical subject. So yeah, it took me 10 years, but I studied every single day, like 4 to 8 hours every single day. And when I had exams, like 16 hours per day. And I, of course, had to work as well to make like little money. So I was teaching yoga and body toning and private sessions for everything, and languages, like I was teaching Italian language and taking care of my kids. So really the determination. And after 10 years of studies and all the diplomas and everything that you get, I can honestly say that I know more than doctors. Like I get contacted by doctors by email. They say, oh, can we schedule a call? We would like to learn more about functional medicine and like help your client. So now they are chasing me to get my knowledge. And that's the best thing that I could have achieved, to be a number one, to be the best, but mostly be helpful for my kids and my family and my friends. And they come to me and they say, Blanka, my daughter has borreliosis, Lyme's disease. What should I do? And I can tell her, look, in functional medicine, this is the protocol that we use. Here we can buy it. I will help you to order it. And I do everything for my friends. So that's the biggest achievement. I never did it because of money. It actually, the education cost me more than what I ever have done, 'cause it's very expensive. But yeah, now like knowing that all my life I can do everything for myself, order it, interpret it, talk to my doctors that are already on my side, is very, very beneficial. Yeah. But I still love languages and literature. So, I still study languages in my free time.
And that's fair enough. That's fair enough. You don't have to abandon your first
Yeah.
love for your new
Yeah.
love ever. And so I suppose in the workplace, there's a lot about well-being.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure that it's always well understood what well-being is about. And I think you've given us a bit more about it today, Blanka. If a business is thinking, I could do more for my employees, where's a good place to start? Rather than just bringing in table tennis or whatever and some fruit. Like, what else can they do to help promote general health and well-being?
Actually, that was my problem as well, because when I worked in corporates, they always ordered like Monday basket of apples.
Yeah.
After a couple of weeks, you don't want to see the green apples that are covered with wax. You can buy the apples yourself. And they even paid like 150 Swiss francs for this to be delivered. And they wanted to tick the box like, hey, we do the well-being. So already during the studies, I decided that I want to provide health and well-being events that really deliver what people want. And because I have the clinical case studies of my clients and I know what is their problem, I could, turn it into a practical guide. So when I talk about perimenopause and menopause, it is practical. These are the signs and symptoms. This is how you want to speak to the doctor. And this is what are, let's say, natural options before you go to a hormone replacement therapy, because not everybody can take hormone replacement therapy, but there are natural botanical options that are equally beneficial. Yeah. And so I usually do like a 45-minute talk and then 15 minutes questions and answers. And people can ask me anything that they want and I give them immediately the answer. So what I would want everybody who has a company and wants to do the well-being is find somebody who will first listen to the employees. What are their issues? So this is what I always do. It's like a research, and then I come for free to the company, ask the employees what are their issues. Then of course we keep it anonymous, and I build the presentations based on what they told me. So if everybody tells me, look, I have some digestive issues, either bloating, farting, diarrhea, constipation, I will talk about it. What can be the root cause and what can they do about it? Yeah. So that's how you make people healthy. And then when they are healthy and they have the energy and they sleep well and hormones are in balance, they're going to be more productive. So it's a win-win.
Totally, absolutely. And I think there's perhaps a debate about whose responsibility is it? Is it the responsibility of an individual to be healthy when they go to work, or is it the responsibility of an organization to keep their people healthy? I think it's both. And if you want to get the best out of people, then you need to help people be at their best.
Yeah, helping them and providing them with something meaningful. Not the apples, please.
Yeah. Or the gym membership, what they want and what they need. Yeah.
Because the gym membership, if there is a mom of 3 kids and after work she's rushing home to get the kids and take care of them, she can never go to the gym. So that benefit is not useful for her. But maybe having a one-to-one with a nutritional therapist or functional medicine practitioner who will give her advice for her kids and for her is more meaningful and beneficial.
Amazing. Blanka, we fitted so much in, and I think I could talk to you for hours. It's been amazing. And before we finish up, if people would like to know more about you and what you do, what's the best way of connecting with you?
So the best way is to go on my website. So you might provide my website, blankacampbell.com. It's very easy. Or follow me, for example, on LinkedIn or some social media, even though I'm not very active on social media and not even on LinkedIn, but they can connect with me and ask me what they want. And if they feel like I want to invest into my health, then they can schedule a free discovery call and I'll be very happy to help them.
Amazing. Blanka, thank you so much. And do you have parting words of wisdom for the listeners who are still with us?
I would have like words of wisdom is don't stress yourself about small things. Just enjoy the life because it's a short journey. That's the only message I have.
And that's what you absolutely embody here today. Your smile is infectious, as is your enthusiasm, and your knowledge is just a wonder to behold. Thank you so much for sharing time with me today.
Thank you so much for having me.
I think in this episode, Blanka reminds us that our health isn't only physical, it's functional. And it's a way of thinking about how everything works together. And the colour on our plate even is, it's not about decoration, is it? It's fuel. And then the way that we eat, the way that we move and rest shapes how we think, feel and perform. So it's a reminder to all of us, especially now entering into the winter in this part of the world, that well-being isn't something on the fringes of our work, our life, our work life. It's what enables us to be well in every sense, physically, mentally, emotionally. So when we bring curiosity to how our bodies work and the courage to make even a small change, new possibilities open up in our energy, our focus, our health, and the way we lead our lives. Thank you for listening to Life Beyond the Numbers. If someone popped into your mind while you were listening, maybe a friend or a colleague, send them the episode. Chances are they'll appreciate it too. And if it spoke to you, a few kind words in a review can help others like us find it too.